Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and we will be discussing K-pop Demon Hunters today, which I have finally watched. I think I might have mentioned that I finally watched it a while ago, but yeah, it's it's
Something.
it's something. It's something, all right. Like, what is it? Is it still like the number one movie on Netflix right now?
It very well might be.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not surprising. Like, it's for one, it's K-pop, which yeah, tons of people like K-pop. Two, it's a musical, which that's bringing in all of the people from the musical crowd. Um, it's Yeah. There's a lot about it that is just like perfect for gathering people together to watch this thing. Even if you're not necessarily into that into this kind of movie, I feel like a lot of people have watched it. In fact, I think the only people that I personally know who haven't seen it yet are my parents, and that's it. Like, what do you think about? How about for you?
Yeah, I mean, my adopted parents haven't seen it either that I know of.
Really? Yet their kids are like obsessed with it?
Yeah,
Huh. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's like mostly like the older audiences haven't seen it, unless they've like watched it with their they've watched it with their kids. Um, so I wouldn't. One thing that I will say, it is a good, it is a decent movie, but it's not necessarily immediate. I completely understand that it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like you didn't like it. Well, you didn't. You're not necessarily the biggest fan of it, correct? If I'm remembering
I'm
correct.
not obsessed. It's cute.
Yeah. Um, but I know some people who are just absolutely obsessed with it. Um, the songs,
I will admit the songs were catchy.
the songs are very catchy, and like it's. I will say that the villain songs are not the best villain songs ever this season, but like "I'll Be Your Idol" can really slaps for a villain song. Um,
It really
unfortunately,
does.
unfortunately, it's just never gonna win the best villain song of the year because freaking Has Been Hotel happened, um, and showed up again
Fair.
with like one of the best freaking villain songs ever, in its second episode. So, uh,
Fair.
yeah. I don't know. The thing is, like, you can't really compete with that. um, like they have Broadway freaking actors doing like all of their songs for that freaking movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So, meanwhile, this is like K-pop people, and like, granted, they are good songs. They are very good songs. Um, it's like I said, it's just hard to compare it between those two. Granted, it's probably good, the better one for like families and such because it is considerably more kid friendly than yeah, significantly more kid friendly than Has Been Hotel ever will be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, you haven't watched Has Been, correct? Even the first season.
I watched a couple episodes here and there.
Okay, so you've seen a little bit of it. Um, great show, but yeah, we're getting sidetracked. K-pop Demon Hunters. So, who is your favorite character of all the characters there?
I think it's the purple haired girl.
Rumi. Okay, so
Yeah.
the standard one. Um, I mean, she is perfectly designed to be a character that everyone kind of loves. Because she is someone who hides a lot of her insecurities at first and grows to open up with them. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's interesting with all three girls because all three of them, they have something that they're not proud of, or in Zoe's case, she has the fact that she's like she's split between two worlds. Um, Freaking Mira is a problem child, and then there's Rumi who is the kid of a demon, and they're meant to kill demons. So
Yep.
it's it really is an impactful movie for what it is, and I think it's interesting
The
because like
story itself is excellent.
yeah, and it's also kind of weird because like you can talk about it and understand like you can find out all of the different stuff about the story through osmosis pretty much because like it's when it first came out it was everywhere people were it was on like shorts and TikTok and all these things. And even if you didn't watch it like the first few weeks, it was pretty much everywhere. And if you're like even close to the freaking range of this thing, you at least understood what was going to happen in it. And yet I feel like you can talk about like everything that happens in the movie and nothing really feels like a spoiler because if you haven't seen the movie, then you can still go watch it and it feels new. And that's kind of hard to see. Like even if you would listen to every single song beforehand, you would listen you had watched clips of the movie all the way through and then finally went and saw the movie, it still would be a surprise. Still, a lot of it is just really good. Like I waited a long time to see it. Like you had seen it. My friend Sarah had been bugging me to see it for a long time, and then I finally just said, "Okay, fuck it, I'm watching. I'll watch this movie." Um, Like this was my equivalent of what happens with you for almost everything that we suggest. Everyone's bugging you to watch it, and then you're just like, fine. Eventually, um, fine, I'll sit down and watch it. um,
Yep.
and yeah, when things actually calm down, you on the other hand actually saw this relatively quickly, if I'm remembering correctly. Like,
Yeah. My siblings made me watch it.
yeah. Like like obviously I knew about that the movie existed and I'd had people telling me to watch it for a while before you had actually seen it. So it had been out for a little bit. Um but yeah. I think it might be it's hard to say if it would be the number if it's going to be the number one anime or the number one movie of the year when it comes to animation because we all know that no animation ever wins the freaking yeah the best film or whatever the frick it's called for Oscars.
Best picture.
Best picture, thank you. Yeah, Oscars are shit. It's fun to shit on them, but that's pretty much the only use that they have. Um, but I think that it could easily stand the chance of like getting best animated film of the year. I think that there's other movies that were significantly really good this year. Was there anything for Disney this year? I don't remember.
Elio.
Huh?
Elio.
Elio was this year. I completely forgot it. I still haven't even seen it.
Me neither.
Which is insane because we love Lizard. That apparently that's like in the after credit scene or whatever for that.
Thanks.
So we need to see it. We know we need to see it. We just haven't yet. And it's kind of telling. And also, can we talk about the fact that this was made by Sony, right? This was made by the same people who made frickin' so many good animated movies, and they just sold it to Netflix. They sold all of their rights to Netflix, and they've said, I think that they regret it. In fact, I think they're currently like trying to get back the rights, at least to a certain degree, for K-pop Demon Hunters, because they're like, oh shit, we just we just failed so freaking hard with this, and Netflix
Yep.
got all the money. Um, they had no confidence in this movie, and yet it exploded. And it's also insane because this didn't even go to theaters until much later, and then when it did go to theaters, I think every single theater, every time that it was available, sold out.
Oh
Um,
yeah, 100%.
so I think that is just insane to think about. That they literally sent it to theaters a few times, and yet failed. They just Sony just dropped the ball so significantly, and yeah, I I have not actually heard much from Sony themselves. It's just mostly like secondhand stuff. But yeah, it's kind of insane because you don't really even think about it. But like, I don't know. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that Google did that. Um, so apparently, in the standard mode when you search K-pop Demon Hunters, they just start doing couch, 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 couch right at the top,
That's me.
which is a funny scene. It's a great scene, like exhausted as hell after performances, and then they want to go to the couch.
Yup.
Ay ay ay. Um. Also, have you seen any versions of the of like the songs, but with different characters doing them?
No.
Okay, that might just
I saw like an If Disney character saying golden.
yeah, that could be interesting. I haven't seen that one. So what I saw was a thing for freaking Final Fantasy, and it was Soda Pop, where a
Oh,
certain
you showed me that.
yeah, Final Fantasy 14 characters singing Soda Pop, and it was just absolutely absurd, but also like weirdly accurate. I
Yeah.
like I know that obviously you don't know the characters as well as I do, but yeah, let me see if I can find that image. I have like an image of these things. So they put yeah, so the main guy that is Rumi's love interest, they basically put um the the version of your character that a lot of the promotional stuff will do. They call him the Darklander, which makes sense. He's like the least. He's probably the least he's not stereotypical compared to like a lot of the others. So using him as makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And then let's see. So for Abby, they put this guy who is very much a ladies' man, but um, then Romance, I think, was basically this guy who's kind of he's kind of mysterious, but he also he had a romantic relationship like near the beginning of the game, who died. But a lot of
Oh,
people basically will ship the two of those characters, which is also the people that everyone ships because everyone ships Abby and Romance together.
fair.
So and it's like so it's the two different fandoms both shipping the two dad characters pretty much. uh,
Yup. 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 That's how it goes, isn't it?
yep.
I gotta wonder if, since the Final Fantasy 14 uh, version was fan made, did they know that and did they plan for it? Probably, right?
So the people who the person who made this, I think they knew. Obviously, that was a fan made thing. They know the story. They took character designs from basically as the current stuff. So they know all of this stuff. They likely have been around the the Final Fantasy 14 fandom the entire time. Um, so yeah, um, and because it's really telling because also the guy who that is basically replacing Baby for that is also like kind of like the most innocent, but also the most not innocent, which is exactly what Baby is like.
True.
And then Mystery is the most mysterious of the guys. Um, which yeah, the characters
Makes
line up. It's weird, but it's also like it makes sense. It was probably the plan of this person to do. Um, so I don't know. But I've seen a lot of different things besides that where people will will like put in characters that really match up well with a lot of these characters. And like I don't know all of them, but like I know that there's been like some Disney ones, there's been some various different fandoms all over the place, which is kind of interesting because it kind of brings in a lot of fandoms that have that usually they don't even talk to each other, but like a lot of them kind of went into this. Um, like take for example, I didn't see it. I didn't see too much of this, but Star Wars and Star Trek, like you know that a lot of them do not associate with each other whatsoever. Um,
true.
like I don't understand it because I like both. But yeah, a lot of those people were very much. Uh, I saw a few things from them where people would put Star Wars characters and Star Trek characters, and a lot of them made a lot of sense. So yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Um, but yeah. Also, how do you feel about uh kind of Rumi's issue in the movie is like is it just like a few demons that are actually good that they want to be free from this blah 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 because obviously her love interest and her both want to be free from being controlled by this the big bad. Obviously she's not controlled by him, but she wants to be but she doesn't want to be seen as a demon for most of it. And then when it comes
Yeah.
to a lot of the other pretty much every other demon but her love interest, all of them are just pure evil. How do you feel
I
about that?
think part of it is that once you're in that sort of situation with what's almost quasi Stockholm syndrome, where your main goal is to please this big fire demon, I feel like you just give up, and that's something that the main character of the Sadra Boys didn't do. Is he didn't give up. He
Yeah,
had something to live for that he wanted.
yeah. And part of me thinks that it was mostly because the fact that he saw that Rumi was not like she was a demon and yet she was free. Um and it makes me wonder if maybe if other demons had seen her, that would have made them want to be free as
That's
well.
true. I hadn't thought about that.
Because his two pets, the cat and the bird, both of them are they're around at the end of the movie. So I think that they're free. Um but and they're pets, so they're probably just like following around Rumi all the time because that's what their master wanted them to do afterwards. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. Also, what do you think of the idea that most of them are still alive? I think like the one that that pretty much everyone is agreeing. Okay, Abby is dead. That is the one that most of the fans seem to be saying. Okay, he's dead because we see him being exploded. But like none
Yeah.
of the a lot of the others, like people are saying, oh no, they're not dead. None of them are dead. What do you think of that theory?
I was under the impression that they all died.
Yeah, like a lot of the things that the people are saying is like, oh, they disappeared. I think like mystery, uh, like people basically think, oh, he poofed away. That could have just been a teleportating. He could have just teleported instead of dying from Zoe killing him. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think we ever see Baby get killed. Um, I think that was who it was that we don't actually see him die, get stabbed at all. And then I think that Romance, we might see him kind of get attacked, but we don't necessarily. I think it was also something with the teleportation. I don't remember. It's been a while. Um,
Yeah.
I need to. People have calmed down significantly on it, mostly because there's like a ton of other things that people are like more interested in right now. Um, so yeah, and I think like it's probably a good thing that we're coming to this much later when people have calmed down, and there's like other things that are going on right now. Obviously, like there's the Pokemon stuff. There's new stuff with through Disney with both Star Wars Visions and Twisted Wonderland. Uh, Freaking Has Been Hotel is back, which I'm so excited to see more of that. Um, it's so good. But one thing that I do find interesting about it is that um, this Halloween, I think that was the most number of costumes I saw. Um, the most costumes I think was for characters from K-pop Demon Hunters, and then the second most was from Demon Slayer.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know how many what you saw. What would you say?
Well, we didn't really see many other trick or treaters. We saw an inflatable unicorn and
Yeah,
some
inflatables are
ninjas.
also were extremely popular. I'd say that was third.
Yeah.
Like any inflatable, like which is in it's weird how much people are doing the inflatables, um, but also it makes sense because obviously they're showing up a lot for the protests. Um,
Yeah.
so people obviously people are going to the protests wearing these things, and then they're like either letting their kids use them for trick or treating, or sometimes it's also really hard to know for sure if they're an adult in there or if it's a kid when it comes to those. So
True.
unless it's like unless it's like one of those riding ones, those are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the inflatables were everywhere. I would say those were the third. But yeah, I would still say like um, obviously of all of the characters from there, Rumi was the most common. But I also saw Mira and Zoe. Um, I also obvious those were like those were the three main ones. But I did see pretty much at least one for every single Sasha boy, which was insane. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah. And that was and I think I also saw one for the cat. I don't think I saw any for the dog, or sorry, for not for the dog, for the bird. Um, but also the bird is not really something that you can really do. I do know that
True.
there were people who had like birds with them, but I didn't see any of those in person. Um, but yeah, the cat was pretty common, and that kind of like goes in both of those categories because most the cat had like a blow up thing that they had. So yeah, um, but yeah, uh, so I guess another question, just for shits and giggles, who is your favorite Saja boy?
The love interest.
Fair. Like honestly, there's like very little other way to put it because like none of them are. The rest of them are just like stereotypes. And then there's him, and he's like actually like a decent human being, um, or decent demon, I guess technically, um, but also I have to say it's kind of interesting seeing this after seeing Oshinoko. If you haven't seen that yet, I would absolutely recommend either reading it or watching it at least once, at least the first season, because it is very much a breaking down of the really shitstorm that is the Japanese media, specifically like idols and junk like that. Um, and I feel like this movie, with K-pop Demon Hunters, they did very much the same. Like, obviously, Huntrix themselves, they were obviously they were there and they were doing all of their really cool. Obviously, they did all of their cool stuff with that, where they delved into all sorts of different things from their perspective, but also like each of the Saja boys kind of dealt with like the aspects of K-pop itself, like Baby dealing with the fact that a lot they want they want younger people to be in these things rather than the older rather than people like if you're in your 30s you're probably not going to be a K-pop in K-pop period.
Yeah.
um and if you're even in your 20s you're unlikely to be recruited into it. You may have started in it, but you're about to make your way out. um so yeah, like it's so bizarre the way that especially the pop industry for especially Korea and Japan, they really want people to only be like really young. um and it's kind of bizarre, and they really deal with that a lot with like Baby, as well as dealing with the K-pop the Huntrix girls. um Mystery was kind of dealing with the fact that a lot of them want to have their they want to keep their identities hidden so that they're safe and all that jazz, and yet they can't. Obviously, Abby had like the whole um, ridiculous body standards. Freaking Romance also like had this idea that was kind of like separating those, where um, you have to look really pretty for people, or else you're going to be seen as like the worst of the worst. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I also think it's interesting with the Huntrix girls specifically because they are extremely flawed. Like, and they don't really hide that too much. Like
No, they don't.
they do hide. Like probably Rumi is the one that hides it the most, but the rest. But like Zoe specifically has the whole fact that she's split between two worlds. Mira is known to be a problem child, and then Rumi is just kind of there, but also like everyone kind of knows that there's something off. Um, and I think that like they do some. I think they had some lines in Golden to kind of show that. Um, but and then obviously when they do, this is what it sounds like, which fantastic freaking song. That's a question actually. What is your favorite song from the entire movie? From the movie,
Golden.
you like
I
Golden?
know that's cliche, but it's
I mean,
just
it is
it's
a good
funny.
movie. Or a good song. Sorry. Um, I really like "This Is What It Sounds Like"
That
because
too.
it's so impactful. As this song is the song that they really wanted to make, but they just couldn't. And when the pieces were down, when they knew that they had no other choice, they sung it, and they didn't even like write it. They knew immediately that these were the words that needed to come out. These are the words that made them who they are. Um, and it's so good. And Grant Golden also does that, but I think that yeah, it was. Yeah. Honestly, all of their songs are fantastic. I do like the song between Rumi and Genu. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
That one's a good song. I don't think that it's necessarily the best overall. Um,
yeah, no, it's good though. It's cute.
it's a good song. Probably the worst song, ironically enough, is Soda Pop. But like
Oh, 100%.
that was designed to be the one that people shat on. While also being the one that was like extremely catchy, and then everyone was just people are obsessed with it, but they also know that it's like one of the shittiest and worst songs ever. Uh,
Yeah, it's so bad.
it's so bad, and like it's everywhere, but it's way too catchy. It's really telling because like even in the movie, they're like clearly like the girls and Bobby, they don't want to be like obsessed with this song, but it's just so catchy that they're just like, ah, they can't help themselves but dance. Specifically Zoe. Obviously, Mira is pretty anti it, as is Rumi, but like even
Yep.
they just they can't help themselves but enjoy it a little bit.
It's a catchy, shitty song.
It is such a catchy, shitty song. Um, and also, like I mentioned, Your Idol is such a good villain song, and I wish it could be classified as the number one villain song of the year. But unfortunately, Gravity exists. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah,
Have you heard Gravity?
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, Gravity exists, and it is such a good villain song. And like Your Idol, great. If it had come out any year that we weren't having freaking Has Been Hotel, uh, then it probably would be the best villain song of the year, for sure. But unfortunately, Gravity exists. Gravity came out a few weeks later, and or a few months later, and it's just like I think it might be blowing up the charts. I don't know for sure. It's when it comes to Has Been Hotel, you have to be. It's very unlikely to be extremely well seen because they have so many curse words. Um, like
True.
I don't know. When it comes to let's see here. If I go to my Has Been Hotel, ba, 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 okay. Go to album. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that doesn't have it. Has Been Hotel. Original soundtrack. Okay. So far, that and Sarah's Confession are the only two songs so far in this season of Has Been Hotel that do not have curse words. Which is funny. I did not think that. I thought Gravity had a curse word somewhere in there, but I guess it didn't. Um. But yeah, Sarah's Confession and Gravity are currently the only songs up there. I mean, yeah. This isn't about Has Been Hotel. I'm getting distracted. I really want to talk about Has Been Hotel, but you haven't seen it, and I need you to see it. um, because it's so good. I love that song though. It's such a good song. Um, but yeah. In terms of like other songs, like I think let me see here. Which ones do I have currently? So, in terms of all of the songs from um so I only have 3 songs from yeah, from K-pop Demon Hunters that I have on my liked playlist, and it's Your Idol, Takedown, and What It Sounds Like. And I probably would have Golden, I just didn't do it. But yeah, so yeah, how do you feel about Takedown as well? That's a question.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that song, because of the fact that it is very much a heavy song that is dealing with like, oh, she definitely does not want to be singing it. Um, it cannot. It's not quite the best of the songs. I think that it's a really well done song, but it also they needed to be a bit. Part of me thinks that it is a very good song. It feels like it's a song that is really trying to show the complexity of how she's feeling in that moment. Um, like obvious, like her friends are just like, yes, let's take these guys down. These guys are the worst. Blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, she's just like, yeah, but what if they're not? What if they're
She's
not?
like, what if they're not the worst? And the whole team is like, what are you talking about? Of course they're the worst. They're demons. And she's like, well,
Well, I'm part demon. Ay ay ay. And honestly, that's fair. It is. I also, I do think it's interesting when her secret is finally revealed in the movie. The fact that they are not immediately killing her, for one thing. Um, like they kind of have been showing their for them a lot that they don't struggle usually. They usually are just like, okay, time to kill these demons. Um, they can't kill the Saja boys just off the bat because of the fact that these guys are just way too out there. Um, so everyone knows that. Oh yeah, they're here. Um, and yeah, they did not want. They wanted to be very. They couldn't just kill them off right then and there, because everyone loved. Everyone's just like, yay, new band that is way too catchy. um, but even when they are, they're standing up against her, they struggle. Um, Mira doesn't lunge at her. She's slow to raise her spear, or whatever that's called. Um, and Zoe only pulls out one of her daggers. And yeah, it's kind of insane. Just the way that they react and how they're so cautious with it. And they do love their friend. They deeply care for her. But they also know that she lied to them and they don't know how to feel about that.
yep. It's true. It can be hard that way sometimes.
It really can. And but I'm really glad that they showed the complexities of that while also being really freaking good. Holy shit. It was such yeah. That was such a heart just my heart. I was not ready for it to be that insane. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see what I don't know. Now, I guess the question is, do you expect them to make sequels? And what do you think they would be about?
Well, they already said it's going to be a 3-part series.
They did. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously they have. Um like we know that it's going to get more movies. But at the same time it feels I don't know, odd. They need to be
Yeah.
extremely it felt like it really did conclude well. And I don't think that they needed to make a sequel. I don't think they need to make a sequel, but also I'm like kind of wondering like what are they going to do with a sequel? are they going to continue with them, or are they going to have the breakdowns of other pop groups? And like, obviously Japan has Oshinoko for that. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see anyone. They can handle their stuff. If you haven't seen them, go to Oshinoko if you want to see that. But we don't really have too much in terms of America breaking it down, which they really should. Like there's some stuff with that is just like, yeah, kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, part of me thinks that if they were to make an American one, it would be really hard to make it kid friendly comparatively.
True.
Because like a lot of those when it comes down to those, it's way more fucked up. For lack of a better term, there's just, yeah, America needs help. It needs a lot of help. Honestly, just in general. But that
You can say that again.
oh my gosh, just in general, America needs help. But when it comes to that specifically, it's just, yeah. I don't know. We'll see how things go with that. But I'm hoping they do well. I think that they will. If they do make sequels, I hope they're not just like making them to make money. That's the big thing. Is because the first movie was amazing because it really had a lot of love behind it. If they just make more of these movies just to make them, just to make the money off of them, then everyone's gonna know. Everyone's gonna know exactly what's going on, and they are going to just be like, nope, bye-bye, we're done. So, yeah. I mean, granted, I think that there will be some people who are going to watch it anyways, but like my thinking is like let's compare this to another extremely popular Disney movie that got a sequel that did not do well, Frozen.
I was wondering if that's where you were going.
Yeah, let's discuss the Frozen situation. Obviously, the first movie did.
I love Frozen too.
I mean, it was a good movie. I'm not saying that was a bad movie. I'm saying that it was, because of the fact that it was mostly there to make money. A lot of people did not go to see it.
That makes sense.
So, and that is the thing that I'm concerned about. And also there were parts of the second movie that were just like, yeah, you didn't think that through, did you? You really didn't. Like the whole thing at the end, like there were a few points in there where it was just like, one, she shouldn't be that ashamed of Let It Go. The fact that the actress is ashamed of Let It Go, fine. She's more of like, it didn't. She's not really feeling it now because it's everywhere, and she wasn't too fond of it. But the character should not be ashamed of Let It Go. That was one thing that I didn't feel was really good. I think that there were other things with that as well. And another thing that I'm kind of thinking about with that is, one of the things that people really want to see is Genu coming back. Whether it be that it's just a memory of him or what. So a lot of people think that he went into Rumi's sword. That is the theory that I've been seeing the most of. And honestly, I would not be disappointed if they decided to have that be the case. I think that would be a decent way of handling it. But also, I'm not 100% certain if it necessarily would be the best. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. I'd like to see. I would like to see more of their relationship. It would be. I think it would be cool, but at the same time, you gotta be really freaking careful with that. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Um. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Uh. This chaos. Um. But yeah, next nerd chat is probably going to be the really interesting one, because you know what we got to discuss. You know what we got to discuss.
Skandar.
Skandar is coming back, and obviously that's going to be our pre-discussion. So for those of you who have seen our previous discussions on the Skandar series, we will be. It's going to be very similar to that, where we discuss basically what we think is going to happen with the new book, and then after we've both read the book completely, we will discuss all of our thoughts on just everything that they are doing with that. I'm excited for that. We've heard like the intro to it, and it's just so fucking good. It was, oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, I I think when we actually do discuss the game, when we actually do discuss the book, we need to briefly say that at least, if not play the actual audio for that, because that is such a good opening, and I am so here for it. That is gonna be amazing. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's nerd chat. I've been Electro Ninja, he's been Jack, and we will see you guys in the next one. But on.